Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting video here. This time working on a 2008 Land Rover LR3 instrument cluster. Customer concern is the cluster goes dead, and he said that he removed the cluster from the board itself, or from the not the board, the enclosure, and he was able to flex it, and then it was coming on and off. It's a very common situation in these clusters. This is all the trim remove, let's say, right? Um, for that, I usually always use gloves and I work on the board. Things that I will show you, well, this was already done probably by him when he was just, removing this. You got to be careful when you work in this. They can become broken. Sometimes they stick to the actual little shaft that goes to the stepper motor, and they can come with with a little shaft. Make sure that you remove it and then put it back, and just wiggle a little bit, and then will become easier to remove. But yeah, this is about just to be careful. Um, Common areas on these. Let me just get something to point. Um, Obviously, solder the main connector is always uh, um, cold solder joints. I can show you that on the um, microscope. I will be starting the screen recording for that, so give me 1 second. All right, guys, I have the microscope going on right now, so we will be able to see pretty good, all these solder joints. Let me just get a closer approach. And that's the nice about this. I can also put extra light, so I guess a little less glare on the microscope when I do this. Hopefully you can see the difference on the lighting in there. But yeah, so we can definitely see, especially, let me see, because sometimes if I get too close, it's a little hard for you guys to see it. What I can see on the microscope and what I can show is very different. Yeah, definitely, I cannot see that there. So yeah, okay, perfectly. So you can see that that is definitely crack, and that's what you're looking for, crack soldering joints. So this is one of the common areas. Um, on the other side of the board, you gotta be careful when I'm doing this with one hand, so because we got the. All right, guys, I removed that push button in here. It has two little clips that you can just press, and that will help you. Hopefully the camera is picking up that good right there, and you can just take it out. Be careful not to lose a little rubber, because that's also helpful to press. All right, let me get the microscope into focus so you guys can see at the microscope up there, and I can point and then show you where the areas, the common areas in here are located. These are very well designed. All these you see here is kind of like a glue to protect those connections, but even though they did this, it always happens. So you're gonna have to resolder this area here and these areas in here. For this, you need to I would recommend also to resolder here if you are already there. This is for the main LCD. But if you're here, let's do it right. I always check everything with the microscope, and you will guys be seeing this powering up and then coming back alive. I can actually, if, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to connect it and then reproduce his concern like that. I can for sure test before and after. This is for Aaron Betz. He's local here in Virginia, so I will be doing a test. This instrument cluster is very basic. Let me stop the microscope capture 1 second and then go over to the information. So, all right, guys, hope you can see me well there. So, again, I'm using this time Identifix. Most of the times, this is what I use, and I use just this is the instrument. Well, actually, this is the computer data lines. You can deselect or select some of the wires, and then make sure they just show that, and I click print and I save that as a PDF. So when I go over to the data and I want to let me just make sure I'm here, instrument cluster, power and ground. So Like in the instrument cluster, I just select the powers and the grounds and the communication. Actually, this is incorrect because this is a medium speed CAN. This is for in between the instrument cluster and other modules. So the actual connection sort of to communication, it goes from pins 1 and 2. And then we got illumination, just a power fit, ignition and battery. That's all we need. And, and the grounds and pin 31 and 32. So it's pretty basic, as you can see, to actually make this instrument cluster live. Then I also mark the order diagram that we were just seeing in there. We can see pins 1 and 2 on the instrument cluster, comments to pin 14 and 6 on the DLC, can high and can low. So perfect. So it looks like we are going to be not having much to do in there. That was a message on my phone. They went into my headset and it was very loud. All right, so this is information that I would like to share with you. So again, this is again the same with a closer capture. This is how you remove that clear code. Is a very clear, heavy clear code, and you will be using, and what I use is this kind of brushes. These are fiber that is specifically for that, to remove that clear code, and then I can resolder the the joints, because those are, and I can show you usually the spot that they become loose and gives the problem in the instrument cluster. This is just showing more information. Again, the common areas right here, right here, right here. Just look around, because these are the most common areas. Again, the connector, this here and here, and not so much in here, but all right, guys, I have everything ready, connected and ready to go. I even selected the scanner. I'm ready to manually select it because we don't have nothing else than the instrument cluster. Things I don't like is that's what I can see on the can high, can low. I am connected on the back of the breakout box in here. So let's turn this on. Yeah, as you can see, as he said, we have absolutely no reaction from the instrument cluster, so I will not expect to have any communication in here. Um, yep, we have no communication. I'm not going to do the wiggle because definitely this is not what we do here. Definitely I will start doing some solderings and then retest. So I will make this on the same video. Probably I'm going to cut some of the information, or not information, some of the areas on the video that I was just trying to connect and doing other things, but definitely we can reproduce his concern. So let's see if we can make this work. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Um, Again, this is just soldering, as explained on the beginning of the video, so I'm not going to be recording that, so I'm just going to do the repairs and then reconnect it and see if everything goes back to life. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I finish up with the reboiling and resoldering and everything. As you can see, I put the needles on just to see if everything works. Let's power this up. That is a very good sign. Let's see why this one, because let me see what that one is. Give me 1 second. So that's the coolant temperature. All right, so since we don't have that in there, let me put that here so we can see what we got. So that is the coolant temperature. Fuel is off, so let me turn it back off. All right, guys, I put everything back together. We need to reset the needles. Usually what I do is I try to put them into the minimum position by hand first, and then try it and do the calibration. So in this case, what I want to do is exit in here, right? And then go over to the thermometer position. We're going to set it up to 0. So that should be in 0. And the tach is indeed in 0. That's what we're looking for, a 0 electrically. Disregard positions now because it's on and no sensors are connected. All right, so that one is good. Let's go over to engine temperature position. We're going to do it in 0. And then 0 here should be right there. So this is excellent. Let me go 5%, 10%. Let me go 100% because I want to know which one is 100. Because this has, that blue and red. I don't think we need to worry about those. It's actually in between the white lines, but you see, because 100 is completely offset. So let's do 50%, 55. You see, so uh, not good. Let's go back to 0. Hmm. I just got him barely connected. So let me do 20%, 70%, 95% is luckily for me, and that's what I do, but I'm not sure if he took it or not before. I took pictures of the positions of the needles, and that's what I was. You see, this is what's resting on there, and this was resting in here. So let's exit here. Let me go over to the field gauge position, and then that is in 0. And we can see there is a little high. If you, that's why I haven't pushed the needles all the way there. That's like 0. And then now 10%. See, this is more like the way I should do 35%. Let's do 50%. A little over. Then go 0 again. And exit. All right, let me do the speedometer. So it is in 0. Let's do 5%. Oh, I'm doing again here. Exit tachometer. Tachometer start 0. So it is not calibrated correctly. So let's do 25%. And that is more than 25% because we got 0 to 80. So it should be around 2. So we are definitely high. Let's go back to 0. And yeah, we can definitely see that we're not in this perfect 0. Let's, let me go back to 0. All right, so that looks more like 0. 25%. It's actually 25.50. These are very weird numbers, right? Can we get 50? 51. I'm not sure if it's Land Rover or the software on the top done. But yeah, so it is like around there. Let me go back to 0. All right, so that looks kind of like okay. So let me turn this off. Before I do turn, but those were the lamps. So let me turn the engine temperature to 0, like that. When I turn the power off, it's low. I'm still on the temperature. I'm gonna have to get out of here. Please exit current function. Engine coolant temperature. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Yep, I think this is it. I think they're all sitting in a good position. Again, the ball check, I just do it here. I can do it, with all the gauges and functions that I have. And I'm going to run the entire process of checking everything myself. I just don't want to make this video which is already too long. Again, I'm gonna probably either advance speed-wise some of the areas to not reduce the video or just remove it because there's a lot of going back and forth. And I'm trying to take the time to do the full test for a customer, but based on his concerns, which it was a dead cluster and no communication, is fixed. This is Aaron Betz. He is here from Virginia. I will be uploading this video and contacting him shortly to collect payment and then give the cluster back to him so he can install on the car, and then hopefully everything is back to normal. I mean, everything is really good in here, and I fixed the very common areas on this one. So thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.